Hello and welcome. The Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh has finally confirmed what was largely speculated about Pakistani losses during the airstrikes that the Indian Air Force had carried out and the S-400 air defense system had managed to achieve during Operation Sindoor in those 96 hours in May, between 6 and 7 May to 10 May. Talking at the L.M. Katre Memorial Lecture in Bengaluru on Saturday, the Air Chief confirmed that at least 5 Pakistani Air Force jets, fighter jets, and 1 large aircraft, which could be an ELINT aircraft or an AEW&C aircraft, were destroyed. They were shot down. This, he says, has confirmed that this is the largest ever surface-to-air kill recorded in history of air warfare, perhaps, at least between India and Pakistan. And of course, then he gave details about which air bases were targeted by the Indian Air Force, how the high-value targets, high-value assets of the Pakistani armed forces were destroyed. And he's given names of the airports like the Shahbaz airport at Jacobabad or the airfield at Jacobabad, the Sargodha airfield where F-16s are parked or operate from. And of course, these strikes took out Murid and Chaklala, large radars there, two command and control centers of the Pakistani Air Force. And at Jacobabad, an F-16 hangar was destroyed. Multiple radars, big and small, were hit. You will see it on the map which we had done during Operation Sindoor. And of course, the sequence of events is known to all of you, that on 6th and 7th of May, when India first launched the strike on Murid Ke, Bhavalpur and 7 other terrorist targets, they were headquarters, camps. That was the first strike. Then India said that we don't want to escalate, we will not escalate beyond this. If you want to stop here, you can stop. But the Pakistani Director General Military Operations did not agree. Pakistan tried to retaliate over the next 3 days, 7th, 8th and 9th of May. And when the warning came from none other than the Vice President of United States, J.D. Vance, to Prime Minister Modi, who said that there will be a large attack by Pakistan tonight, and do you want to give them an off-ramp? And the Prime Minister said, we will not give them an off-ramp, and if they attack, we will have a retaliatory attack which will be furious, which will be double or triple in intensity, and Pakistan will remember Indian response. So in Hindi, apparently, the Prime Minister said that time, "Wahan se goli, yahan se gola." And that's exactly what happened on the morning of the 10th, late night on 9th and 10th morning, when Indian BrahMos missiles and of course S-400 took out the number of kills that the Air Chief has listed during his lecture, the memorial lecture in Bengaluru on Saturday. Listen into this bite, and then we will talk about the implications of this.
That is Shahbaz, their Jacobabad airfield, one of them again, a major airfield that was attacked. And here there's an F-16 hangar, which you can see here. And here this is the photograph again from open source, from one of their earlier picture of the same hangar. And here that hangar, which is one half of the hangar is gone. And I'm sure there were some aircraft inside which have got damaged there. So if I can just sum it up, what we were able to get there at least 2 command and control centers in like Murid and Chaklala that I have shown you one of the pictures. At least 6 radars, some of them big, some of them small. 2 SAGW system, that is in Lahore and Okara. Then of course runway at Sargodha and Rahimia Khan. 3 hangars that we attacked. One was of course Sukur, the UAV hangar, the Bholari hangar of AEW&C, and Jacobabad, the F-16 hangar. And we have indication of at least 1 AEW&C in that AEW&C hangar, and a few F-16s which were under maintenance there. Apart from these, the SAGW systems, mostly from, I'm talking about fighter aircraft are from S-400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an ELINT aircraft or an AEW&C aircraft, which was taken out at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about.
There is an old saying, many of you will remember, that a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. So for almost 3 months to the day, remember the Operation Sindoor ended on 10th of May and Saturday was 9th of August. In 3 months, Pakistan had tried to spread disinformation, misinformation, lies across the world, and many experts who wanted to buy into the Pakistan narrative actually mocked India, the Indian Air Force, Indian Armed Forces, but now the truth is out. The Indian Air Force had said, many of you may not remember, but during one of the press conferences they had said that we will get all the confirmed pictures and collate all the information, the intelligence that is available, open source intelligence that is available, and then come up with the exact damage that was caused by the Indian strikes. And exactly 3 months later, the Air Chief has put out there for everyone to see and everyone to understand how effective India's Operation Sindoor was. One big takeaway for me from the Air Chief's public kind of discourse today or on Saturday in Bengaluru was he clarified in no uncertain terms that there were no restrictions put on the Indian Armed Forces by the political leadership. All the decisions, any restrictions or any controlled escalation that the armed forces carried out were because the armed forces wanted it that way. And he actually spoke about how the synergy was and how the role of the 3 chiefs, the Chief of Defence Staff and the National Security Advisor actually came into play as a whole team, and how India achieved its political and military objectives. I have said this during Operation Sindoor, I am repeating it here, that India's military objectives were to destroy the Pakistani terrorist outfits headquarters in Murid, Bhawalpur and Muzaffarabad, which is the launch pad in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and other camps, terrorist camps. That was the first objective. The second, the political objective was to send a message to Pakistan that no matter where you hide the terrorist leadership or terrorist groups or their top leadership, India will be able to hit them anywhere inside Pakistan. And of course, Pakistan's nuclear bluff, as the Prime Minister has said time and again, has been called, because earlier Pakistan used to always threaten India that if you touch anything in Pakistan, Punjab, then there will be mayhem, there will be a big price to pay to anybody who sort of attacks the heartland of Pakistan. But India not only attacked the heartland of Pakistan, but also prevented Pakistan from causing any damage to Indian military installations or to any Indian military assets, as we now know, 3 months after Operation Sindoor concluded. I think it's a major revelation over the weekend that the Air Chief has done. Should put to rest all the speculation, all the mocking, all the criticism of the Indian Armed Forces. Of course, there are lessons to be learned, which I'm sure they're all learning from that conflict, that short but swift technology-enabled, technology-supported war that India sort of prosecuted or carried out against Pakistan to send multiple messages not only to Pakistan but to other nations and to other players in the globe. F-16s were the pride of the Pakistani Air Force, supplied, given by the United States. There was also this speculation that command and control systems or centers and the places where the Pakistani military leadership used to meet were also hit or were hit very close to that place, which set in the panic amongst the Pakistani military leadership, which then went running to Uncle Sam, that is the United States, which then tried to intervene through J.D. Vance. And of course, India then said, okay, we will stop if you stop, and if you hit, we will hit you doubly, will hit you with double ferocity going forward. So that's the sum total of what the Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh has said in his speech at the L.M. Katre Memorial Lecture. Several lessons, we will unpack this going forward later, but several political implications. There is also this question, was President Donald Trump and his team angry because Pakistan could not protect US supplied hardware and US supplied platforms like F-16 and maybe even other assets that the US has given to Pakistan? Maybe. Maybe because S-400 air defense system supplied by the Russians has performed exceptionally well and has proved that it is not just a match to Western technology, but also can actually cause damage and kill big assets or the platforms that the West takes pride in. Maybe all that came into play, but that's for another day and another discussion. For the time being, remember this: India shot down, or Indian Air Force shot down 5 fighter jets of Pakistani Air Force, 1 ELINT or a AEW&C aircraft, several command and several radars, big and small, were destroyed. 2 command and control centers were taken out. Runways at Rahim-e-Ar Khan and Murid, I think, or in Sargodha were damaged. And of course, the psychological damage that the Indian Armed Forces caused to the Pakistani leadership, the military leadership, as well as to the terrorist leadership is immense and may be lasting for a considerable period of time. That's all I have today, but we'll talk about all this going forward with some other experts as we unpack and get more information about what exactly happened in those 96 hours in the month of May. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.